Mario Paint was such a cool thing when it came out. It was one of the only Super Nintendo games where you could just chill out and be creative, or make funny things with your friends. I loved this when I was young, and given that it has a unique mouse accessory, I thought it would be fun for us to take a look at. I love how colorful the cover art is, communicating the idea of creativity not just literally, but in the way it feels. One funny detail I never even realized until recently was that these paint tubes are spilling out patterned paint. Anyway, here down in the corner it shows us that this comes with a mouse and mouse pad. And on the back there are some pictures that look much better than what 99% of kids would be able to create. And it shows how you can also make music, and there's a fly swatting minigame. Some of these bullet points are funny from a modern perspective. We have 15 colors to work with. We're told there are 6 erasers, including 9 ways to erase the whole screen. This may sound strange, but they each just do different little fun animations to wipe the screen. We have 2 sizes of text to choose from, and you can save 1 piece of art, or as many as you want, quote, on your home VCR. This part is very funny to me because that's not a feature at all. You can record anything on a VCR. This just basically says, if you want to save more than one thing, do it on your own. Inside, here's the mouse pad. I don't feel like this gets talked about enough. Let's come back to it in a second. We've got manuals and other things which we'll also take a glance at shortly. But I want to get to the Super Nintendo mouse, which is the most noteworthy thing about this package. It was just really neat to be able to plug a mouse into your Super Nintendo. And it looks good. It matches the standard Super Nintendo color scheme, of course, but what's interesting is that the Japanese and European versions are also this color. They don't use the color schemes that the controllers in those regions had. Anyway, it's a standard 2-button mouse. This does use a trackball, as all mice did back then. It's actually really nice that they included this little trackball cover to keep it from getting dirty, at least during transit. I don't recall owning any other mouse that came with this. And speaking of getting dirty, there's also this thing. I personally never saw these anywhere else either growing up, but the mouse manual explains that this is a mouse cleaner. So when the roller sensors do eventually get dirty and the mouse starts not working well, you open it up like so, take the ball out, and you use this instead of your fingernails to scrape the dirt and lint off the rollers. What a time the 90s were. Let's go back to the mouse pad. You may be thinking the same thing I first thought when I opened my copy of this years ago, which is, why is it made of hard plastic? Well, I still don't know. There's a reason you don't often come across hard plastic mouse pads, and that reason is, they suck as mouse pads. Especially if you're using a trackball mouse. There's little friction, little grip, and the ball ends up just sliding way too much and not activating the rolling sensors to tell the system you're moving it around. Seriously, this thing is terrible, and it sounds kind of annoying too. The mouse manual, not to be deterred by blatantly obvious observation, claims that this mousepad is the best way to use the mouse. It also tells us that you can't plug a PC mouse into the Super Nintendo. The only thing really noteworthy about the actual game manual is that it sets some wildly unrealistic expectations of the quality of art you'll be able to create. Don't get me wrong, I loved this game and still do, but who's possibly going to be able to draw something like this? Same with these pictures in the back. Obviously these can be done, but even a skilled artist is going to be hard-pressed to make something like this given the tools provided. To be fair though, there are plenty of more realistic creations throughout the manual. I just get a kick out of these masterpieces that almost nobody can hope to mimic. On the last page, the manual makes good on the VCR promise, I guess, giving you instructions on how to save your creations onto a VHS tape. Finally, on the back of this ad for Nintendo games, there's a pretty sweet Link to the Past / Nintendo Power poster. So yeah, there are some funny things about this box, but I love Mario Paint. I love that Nintendo took a risk. I love that the risk paid off. I love that we got a game based on creativity, and I love that we got a neat accessory out of it. Sure, Mario Paint might not hold up great today, but in the 90s, it was a great way to just play around and be creative with no stakes.